Hi, my name is Natasha Dukas. I'm president of Squash BC. And today I've got four amazing, young, talented guests here with me. And we're going to talk about the Kevin Kydd Award that they received. So I have Jacob Lin, WeiHan Wang, Ocean Ma, and Spring Ma here. And I wanted to congratulate you on this amazing award, the Kevin Kydd Award. And let me go into detail a little bit about what it is so I can kind of set the stage for everybody watching so they understand the significance of this award. So the Kevin Kydd Award is awarded to an individual or group of individuals who have unselfishly inspired, coached, and or mentored the junior squash players. This award was donated and started by Paul King and the family. And we wanted to, through the nominations, Squash BC wanted to award this to the Sunshine Squash Club that you guys all are members and founding members of. So I wanted to congratulate you on this award.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for.
Now, I just wanted to get an understanding of how this all came about, you know, when you started this group, because as I understand, your purpose was to promote the sport, particularly with the juniors, establish a platform for players to learn from each other, and just create like some fun environment. And so you guys started this during the pandemic, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And can you explain like just how this whole idea came about?
Should I say it?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I thought that I've played squash competitively for about 8 years now, and I've traveled like internationally to British Junior Open, US Junior Open, Hong Kong Junior Open, and I thought that I've gained a lot of experience. I know that not everyone has these opportunities as I did, and I think I have a role to spread all the experiences and the knowledge that I've learned from these tournaments. And I think these are very valuable lessons that I've learned, and I think everyone should know about it.
I think adding on to that, especially during the pandemic, there was no squash and lockdown, and we tried to create this club so that other people can be reintroduced into squash, because a lot of people have like quit squash because of the pandemic. But we just kind of wanted to bring back together some squash players and maybe introduce some beginners into the sport.
Yeah, and one of the first events we've hosted as the Sunshine Squash Club is the Fitness on Zoom, which we hosted during the pandemic. I think it was January to March to June 2020. And a lot of junior players that are already playing squash and a lot of just high school students in Richmond, in Vancouver in general, they joined us every Saturday on Zoom, and then we all four of us led fitness sessions, and everyone benefited from it. And it was kind of like a fundraiser we did. The funds were also donated to the Vancouver General Hospital. So after that event, we decided that these kind of activities and we want to host more activities like these to promote squash and to have more people stay active.
You know, it's amazing what you guys have done for the sport and for juniors specifically and for new players. I mean, you know, I remember when I was a teenager, I just wanted to play. That's it, right? And I didn't think about, you know, organizing things too much. I was just kind of like following, you know, what was there. And that takes a lot of leadership for your age, that skill set to think about that and to improve the sport and get more people out playing and finding a safe place for everybody to come and just have fun, right? And you guys were playing out of one of your coaches' clubs, is that right?
Yeah, Marcos.
Yeah, good. You know what? I just find that so commendable, that motivation. Like you guys must have so much motivation and desire internally to compete, right? You guys are all competing on a national stage, an international stage. But then what drives you to motivate others? Like, is it because you want to bring the aspect of that sport, the joy that you have for sport to others? Do you want to just get people out playing? Like, what is it to each of you that makes you want to do this kind of volunteerism advocacy for the sport, you know, really encouraging people to come out? WeiHan, you want to start with you and just share with us what you about the sport?
Sure. I think squash in general isn't really popular as a sport, so I think our club really wishes to popularize it and spread it around the world. It's a pretty nice sport, and it's kind of like a hidden gem.
Yeah, I love that. I love hidden gem. It is. Not as many people are playing as we would like to see and experience it. And what about you guys, Jacob, Spring, Ocean? What do you feel?
I think throughout the years, I've learned a lot of valuable life lessons. So, for example, I had a knee injury, and I learned that I had to take care of my body because I was overtraining too much. I had to understand what is my limit. And also, it taught me how to play smarter because I know that I had pain in my knees and I could not run as fast as other players. And I had to compensate that pain for hitting shots that are more smarter, more tactical.
Makes sense.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Squash like overall taught me a lot of lessons as well. But I think more I just love the competitiveness and being such a small sport compared to other sports. It really needs more players, especially younger junior players, to get into the sport. And I think um, just from the events that we've hosted, a lot of kids, it's really satisfying to see a lot of kids actually stick around after trying out squash during our events and seeing them become better squash players and even going to tournaments and competing. It's really gratifying. Like, I really enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah, and when a lot of kids they were first introduced to sport and then they start loving the sport, it's really satisfying to see them discovering a new sport. And we were the ones that led them to this new aspects of life that they never tried before. And I think it is very important because squash is one of the most important aspects of my life, and I dedicate hours into this into squash every day. And I just feel like other people, other juniors, they should experience the emotions I feel on court as well.
All of you guys play with such emotion, such passion. And I love how your aspect of giving back to the community, giving back to players. And it is so rewarding, as you put it, where you feel like, hey, they're loving the sport as much as I am. And this is great. And you feel like you're contributing to that. And that's an amazing feeling, right? And you talk about the lessons learned, like Jacob, you talked about, how to listen to your body through injury and not even just injury. I'm sure just pushing yourself on the court and knowing when to push a little bit, when to ease back. Because you have to pace yourself, right? When you're playing these national events and playing many matches and you've got your emotions, kind of going up and down and you're in like the fifth game of, a championship match kind of thing. You have to pace yourself, right? So from that aspect, Spring and Ocean, you were talking it through an article that I read, and I've talked to you personally about this as well. You were sharing about, how much time that you dedicate to the sport in terms of practicing and playing, but then you're also managing school. And so you mentioned that time management was something that you got to learn from juggling both school and sport. You want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So at first, before when I didn't have such a big extracurricular, I would have a lot of free time to try many different sports, but also kind of like drawing, which I wasn't really good at. But squash now, my biggest extracurricular is just squash, and I'm focused on squash, and it's taking up actually even more time than like juggling through a lot of different extracurriculars. And just because I want to focus on becoming the best at squash, that's why I have to put so much time into it. But at the same time, school is also very important to me, and having school and also squash, one other major extracurricular. I think it definitely taught me how to efficiently manage my time, as I used to go to all these different extracurricular, and I feel like as I grow older, I have to narrow it down, and I'm happy that I chose squash.
That's great. And WeiHan, what about you? What is sport done for you? The sport of squash. What have you learned from it?
I think the sport kind of taught me also my limits. And also, since I started playing when I was like 9 years old or something, um, I was quite young, so school wasn't really um that challenging yet. So I might mainly like focus on squash. But like as I grew older, squash just became more um challenging, and also school became more challenging. So yeah, managing my time was also like learned throughout.
Yeah, figuring out what's important and minimizing all the other distractions. Good for you. So I want to turn to nationals. You guys are like between the four of you, you've got championship and finalists between the four of you in your own respective categories for the Canadian Junior Championships that were held. I think it was in December in the fall of 2021. And then you guys decided to enter into the Canadian Senior Championships. What was that feeling like? Because, a lot of times we just figure that, once an individual reaches adult stage, like after juniors, they would enter a senior nationals. And so, how was that experience for you guys?
Yeah, well, after junior nationals, we decided to all enter into the senior nationals for ourselves because um, the senior nationals obviously hosted in Vancouver. It's local to us. We can just drive downtown and go see the matches, go um, into the glass court, and hopping on the glass court was actually one of the most amazing experiences in my life. Having the people sitting in all four corners, having the ocean just like in front of me, and playing on the glass court made me like feel like this is why I love squash, and this is why I want people to know this sport and have people to recognize how amazing squash is as a sport. And yeah, the senior nationals was one of my favorite tournaments. Squash BC did a very good job hosting it, as well as Squash Canada, obviously. Thank you very much for that.
And also adding on to that, so I've been playing a lot of junior tournaments throughout my life, and also senior tournaments. Like the level is completely different. Like I'm here, and then the adults are like over here. And I feel like getting this experience of hitting with better players is so great because you will learn so much because the styles are so different, and you would learn how more like senior players would play comparing how juniors players would play. And I think this experience has taught me a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
the main reasons for me to enter in first is definitely like Ocean mentioned, the amazing venue, and Jacob mentioned um, the adults players. And for me, it's mainly getting really the experience to hit with top world class players. In second round, I played Danielle, and I definitely I definitely see what I need to work on just from that match. I learned a lot, and it was one of the greatest experience. I think she's top 20 in the world, and
Yeah.
it was my first time playing someone as high ranked as her, and she was just dominating. And but I learned a lot from her from that match. It was great.
That's great. And it also helps you to strive for things, right? You learn from them, learn what their strategy is, and how they play you, how fit they are, mentally fit, all these things, right? These are things that you can kind of like write in your little notebook and kind of keep in your back pocket and remember, okay, when I go on the court next, this is what I'll focus on, right? And Weihan, did you play in the nationals, in the senior nationals?
No, I originally was going, but after the junior trials for World, I got a bit tired.
Yeah. It's, you know what, it has been a year of kind of short bursts, but like a lot of intensity, because when things started coming back, we had a really short time to get everything going. So, you know, it's amazing how you guys got through all the matches and all the events that you played, along with all the work that you're, you know, you're contributing with the Sunshine Squash Club. So speaking about senior nationals, you guys contributed to that as well through your, you know, your club. So you guys have been amazing at fundraising. You've done several events, and you actually contributed to as a donor to the senior nationals. So, you know, congratulations on that. You know, and I know that Squash Canada did a write up on you guys and made special mention, because it is really exceptional to have a young group, talented kids as yourselves, to think about that and think about giving back to the game and giving back to the sport in that way, in that level. And so kudos to you and congratulations for that. And so I want to hear, kind of in the closing, I want to hear from each of you. What are your plans in the next 6 to 12 months?
I was thinking, we were thinking that right now we're just doing all of our events inside Vancouver, inside BC, while we're hoping to grow not only nationally, but also internationally. We want to build a bigger and stronger community, so then we can not only promote squash, but also get more people to share the experience from playing squash.
And in terms of specific events, next year, obviously, you can expect from us the events that we hosted last year. For example, we are going to participate in the Women's Squash Week again, the World Squash Day in October. And we're hoping to host some game day events where we bring juniors to come in to Sing Club from Vancouver, from Richmond, from like places in BC, and bring them together and just have a fun, chill day of playing. And we are also actually hoping to start a junior league in Vancouver, because currently a lot of juniors are registered in the VSL. And we're hoping to start a junior league. We're talking to Richard Yendell about that, and we're hoping to have it started next year.
Yeah, it's definitely in our vision, and we'll try our best to make it happen, because we know that a lot of juniors don't get to play in the adults league, and there's not really maybe a right category for them, right division for them. So we just want to bring out this opportunity to see if people are interested, and try to organize something like that.
Wow. You know what, guys? I love your vision, your individual visions, like your performance and, you know, your success in the sport. But I also love your group, your team vision as the Sunshine Squash Club. Like, this is amazing. And I love how you keep on pushing and motivating others and inspiring others. You guys are so inspirational. I love you all. You're amazing. And congratulations on this award, the Kevin Kydd Award. It is an honor for Squash BC to give this to you. You've earned it tenfold. And I wish you all the success as you push towards your goals, and you keep pushing us all. Get back on court, get back playing, and bring our passion to the game. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Natasha.
Natasha.
Thank you, Natasha. It is our honor to be receiving the Kevin Kydd Award.